Hello, Janice.
Anthony, how are you?
I'm well. Are you ready to talk about where to find unclaimed money?
I'm actually excited about this one, so let's talk.
So for anyone who doesn't know, there are a lot of situations where you either forgot to pick up a final check or, a check was mailed to your old or wrong address for various situations, and you have unclaimed money sitting somewhere. And there's a whole governmental system in place where those funds either have to get held and somehow redistributed to you, or eventually they may get passed up to a state department. In New York, it's called the Unclaimed Funds Department of the New York State Comptroller. That's a mouthful, but and there's a whole process for getting your money back. So we'll talk. Janice, lead us through how some of this works.
Right. So exciting. I mean, you find money. It's like, walking through the grocery store, you find a quarter. It's kind of exciting. But there's a raft of databases out there for finding this lost and unclaimed money from financial institutions and banks, insurance companies, the U.S. Treasury. There's just a whole bunch of different places that you can look. And while the money might not be really substantial, it's important to know where to find it. And when I say not substantial, even if it's a couple dollars and you find a few different ones, it can add up. So interesting story. When I was preparing to talk about this article with you, I thought, well, I'm going to go through here and see if I have any unclaimed money, because that just sounds like fun. So I go through this list, and when you read the article for the listeners, it gives a few different places to look, pension, insurance policies, etc. So I searched in the 2 states that I lived, and lo and behold, my mother came up, and my stepdaughter, my mother-in-law, and an ex-husband. So I actually contacted all of them this morning. I said, guess what? Guess what I found? And my mother had just sent me a text message that she has $75 from one of them.
Ayo.
So that's pretty good. I mean, for somebody's going to send you a check for $75 that you had forgotten about for, 15 years. So I'll take it. Definitely. Of course, I didn't end up with any. I'm sure I should have charged a finder's fee, but it was easy to search for. It's easy to log into your state's unclaimed property page and search for your name. I found it easy. Have you done this?
Yeah, on a personal, we do it all the time for estates, Janice. As you know,
yes.
Just one of our checklist items. We check unclaimed funds for any of our estates just to make sure we kind of capture any money that's floating around out there.
Yeah, which we have often.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd say 1 out of 3 estates has some unclaimed money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Personally, I actually got a check for over $2,000. Right, that was nice.
Wow.
Apparently,
that's really great.
Well, it means that I misplaced $2,000, so I don't know if that's great.
Okay. Well, we'll skip that part, and just the fact that it came back to you.
Yeah,
is pretty good.
So if you're wondering where such a large amount came from, it was from a real estate closing where I think we were due a refund on maybe the homeowner's premium. That sounds like too much. Maybe it was from our title insurance. We were owed a premium refund, and they sent it to the wrong address or something like that, and it just got. Eventually, it swam its way up to the New York State Unclaimed Funds database. And I just randomly looked one day and I claimed it. I was like, hey, a lot of money.
Okay. How was the process to claim it? Did you find it to be like long, tedious, or was it just okay?
So for an individual, it's not bad. I mean, you just need to prove you are who you are, which is what, driver's license and passport, or I don't remember exactly what, but it wasn't difficult. And you need to prove that you're connected to the address. Right? Because each unclaimed fund is connected to an address. And this was easy because this was a property we had sold, so I had plenty of documentation. Now, with our estates, it gets a little hairier. So number one, you can't prove you are the deceased person, so you need to prove that you are the person in charge of the estate. That means you need to go through probate and get your court order showing that you're the executor or administrator. A lot of people don't know to do that. And then proving address can be difficult because you're dealing with somebody who's not you. You don't necessarily know their personal address history as well as they do, and it can be a challenge to get a electricity bill or a tax return reflecting that address from maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 15 years ago. Yeah.
Right.
But we've always got it done so far. I can't think of an instance where we were unable to claim the funds, but it can be a little bit of digging.
And a little bit lengthier, like you said, if it's not just a personal, hey, here's who I am in my ID. But if you're doing it as you should through an attorney, they'll help you gather the correct documentation or even do it for you.
Now, Janice, you mentioned charging, I know jokingly, charging your family member finder's fee, but that does bring me to a serious point. There are companies out there who are in the business of, claiming unclaimed funds on your behalf. Most of the time, you should probably avoid them, okay? Because they're charging you somewhere between 10 and 20% of what they recover for you, when, as we've just described, it's pretty easy for you to do on your own.
Google search, right?
Yeah. You could do it, from your bed with your laptop in your pajamas. I mean, it's not that hard. Right?
Exactly.
The only time where it might make sense is if we're talking about it's not your money, but rather you are like a distant relative to somebody who you don't really have any information on. And then they may have done some pretty lengthy genealogy work to connect you to this money. And replicating that work, which you would have to show to prove that you're connected, that might be worth the 10 or 20%. It depends on what the amount involved is.
Okay, so kind of weigh it out and see if you need help with that. Interesting. Yeah, I like it. You're actually quoted in the article, which was, I thought, kind of interesting as I'm reading through. I'm like, oh, I know the guy. But you did say, don't pay somebody to find the money for you. Skip these guys and just go to the source. To which I could attest this morning, I only spent 5 minutes searching at the most, and I was able to find that for a bunch of different people. I mean, easy enough. You never know what you might find. So just 5 minutes of time, you could get, even if it's a couple dollars, it definitely helps. But there's other resources to help you look for this unclaimed money. I know some financial planners can help you. But you're right. Just skip the, you see them coming in through the email all the time of, we can help you find money. Mm-hmm. I would be personally leery about clicking on something like that and providing all of my information.
That's right.
Right. That's the whole nother can of worms. Just being careful who you give your information. So if you could go to the source, skip all that, be a little bit safer. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, very good. Anything else, Janice?
I don't. I think everyone, it's just for fun, put your last name in there and see what comes up, and maybe report back if you had a good experience.
I think I forgot to mention this. We're talking about an article titled "Where to Find Unclaimed Money," written by Jeff Williams over at U.S. News. Is it U.S. World and News Report? Yep.
Yes. Yep.
So Jeff, thank you for the article, and thank you for printing my quote. That was very nice. Check it out. It has all the links to where to find unclaimed funds for former. Let me see. Can you read down the list, Janice?
Yeah, so there's like formal pension and retirement plans, life insurance policies, federal tax returns, state departments of taxation, bank accounts, unpaid back wages, savings bonds. And some of these links were really one-stop shopping. They gave you a lot of different ones all at once. So go through the links one by one. Like I said, it took me 5 minutes maybe. Mm.
And I don't think it's explicit here, but don't forget your own state's unclaimed funds website.
Yes. And that was easy to find, but I put in my state and the word unclaimed property or unclaimed funds. It came right up. Watch, too, that you're looking at an actual real state page and not a, like a spam page or something. Yeah. But you'll know that by the way it looks. Just be cognizant of that. But 5 minutes and got mom a good night out. Right?
Well, very good. Thanks, Janice. Thank you, Jeff. Check it out again, U.S. World and News Report. And we'll talk again next time, yeah?
Talk soon.
Bye now.